If you've ever felt this tight knot in your stomach when thinking about your retirement savings, or maybe you're constantly wondering if you're hopelessly behind everyone else, I really want you to take a deep breath. You are absolutely not alone in this. In fact, a massive Bank of America Merrill Lynch study actually found that a staggering 81% of Americans don't even know how much money they'll need for retirement. 81%. Most people out there are just flying blind. They're gripped by financial anxiety, basically just guessing their way through their saving years. But in this explainer, we are going to change that. We're going to build a crystal clear, data-driven picture of where you actually stand right now using real benchmarks. Think of this as your personal retirement scorecard. We're going to figure out exactly what you should be celebrating and exactly what you need to fix. Okay, let's dive into this. We are going to mentally score your progress across 5 crucial pillars today: age-based benchmarks, managing debt and loans, protecting your nest egg, income and strategy edge, and finally, the health-wealth connection. Starting off with Pillar 1, age-based savings benchmarks. Basically, where should you be right now? Now, setting a solid baseline is literally the fastest way to kill that financial anxiety because it takes all the guesswork out of the equation. Before we even look at what everyone else is doing, you need your own personal anchor. And the target is surprisingly simple. This 10x is the Fidelity Investments golden rule. Their experts recommend that by the time you hit age 67, you should aim to have 10 times your annual income saved up. Notice, it's not 10 times the national average. It's 10 times your income. It scales perfectly to your specific lifestyle. Just having this one specific multiple in your head gives you an immediate, tangible anchor to shoot for. So how does that golden rule actually compare to reality? Well, based on Federal Reserve research on median savings by age, if you're under 35 and have more than $18,880 saved up, you're already beating the median. Nice job. Ages 35 to 44, that median sits at 45 grand. But okay, here is where the gap between reality and the ideal gets pretty stark. Look at the 45 to 54 bracket. The median is $115,000. Now, hitting that means you're technically above average, but Fidelity advisors point out that workers in this specific decade should ideally have an average of about $429,624 to stay comfortably on track. Now, if you're behind that, seriously, don't panic. Finding this out is exactly why we're running through this scorecard in the first place. Moving on to Pillar 2, managing debt and loans, the silent killers of retirement. Look, building up your savings is really only half the battle. We have to talk about the roadblocks that are actively draining your wallet. Based on Experian data from June 2025, the pressure points are incredibly obvious. And this brilliantly illustrates what we're up against. Look at that massive $9,600 credit card debt spike for Generation X. Millennials are carrying roughly $6,900, and Gen Z is sitting at about $3,500. If you're doing better than your generational peers here, go ahead and give yourself a massive point on the scorecard. But remember, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that carrying these balances month to month and paying those sky-high interest rates actively halts your retirement goals. It's pretty much impossible to build a future when you're paying a premium for your past. And then, of course, there's the student loan factor. Out of all the Americans who borrow money for college, only a tiny 24% fraction have paid them off in full. The remaining 76%, they're either still paying or, in the case of over 5 million Americans, they're actually in default. If you fall into that small 24% slice, or, hey, if you manage to dodge student loans entirely, you are miles ahead of the pack when it comes to directing cash flow straight into your retirement nest egg. So, I really want to pose this question directly to you. Is debt delaying your life? A CNBC survey revealed something pretty heartbreaking. An overwhelming 81% of adults with student loans have had to postpone major life milestones. We're talking about delaying marriage, putting off buying a home, or just completely halting their retirement savings. Paying down this debt, it's not just about the math. It's about reclaiming your timeline so you can actually start building wealth. Let's look at Pillar 3, protecting your nest egg. This is all about starting early and staying put. Okay, so once you actually start building that money, you have to defend it. Historically speaking, there's a really fascinating shift in generational behavior. According to the Transamerica Center for Retirement Studies, baby boomers, on average, didn't actually start saving for retirement until they were 35. Generation X, though, got a slightly earlier start at age 30. Now, why does a 5-year difference matter so much? Because getting that early start in your 20s or early 30s gives compound interest 3 full decades to work its magic. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. Time in the market is absolutely the heaviest lifter when it comes to wealth creation. But all that amazing time in the market is totally ruined if you do this. A Finance Buzz survey found that 41% of people with retirement accounts have taken early withdrawals, pulling out an average of $15,021. This is just devastating to your scorecard. Dipping into these accounts prematurely doesn't just rob your future self of that sweet compound interest, it triggers immediate, super heavy penalties and taxes. It's a massive double hit to your finances that can literally take years to recover from. So the absolutely crucial point here is putting proactive strategies in place to protect your nest egg from yourself and from life's ridiculously expensive surprises. First up, grow a healthy, totally separate emergency fund so you aren't even tempted to raid your 401k. Second, maximize your employer match. I mean, come on, that is literal free money. And finally, utilize a health savings account, or HSA, for medical costs. Interestingly enough, a Kaiser study shows that just 21% of Americans are in an HSA qualified plan. If you have access to one, use it for sure. Contributions and qualified withdrawals aren't subject to tax, which keeps way more money in your pocket and out of the IRS's hands. All right, Pillar 4, Income and Strategy Edge, maximizing your potential. If you want to boost your baseline right now, today, we need to look at your income potential. $1,214. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this was the median weekly pay for full-time working Americans in the fourth quarter of 2025. Think about it. If you're hitting this median wage and you follow the strategy of allocating at least 15% of your pre-tax income to retirement, you'd be socking away $182.10 every single week. Automating that 15%, whether you make this median or way more than that, builds a massive systematic advantage over time, and you don't even have to think about it. Set it and forget it. But building a real edge isn't just about skimming a percentage off your paycheck. It requires some strategic knowledge about the benefits you're actually entitled to. An Allianz Life study from 2025 showed that 55% of Americans don't fully understand how Social Security works or how it even fits into their overall plan. Over half the country is flying blind when it comes to their future benefits. Honestly, simply taking an hour this weekend to learn how your benefits are calculated instantly puts you ahead of the pack. And that brings us to our fifth and final pillar, the health-wealth connection. Your body is an investment. Now, this is a pillar that gets completely ignored in almost all financial planning. The direct link between your physical well-being and your financial preservation. Health isn't just some abstract feel-good concept. It has a very concrete, very real price tag. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control, the hidden extra annual medical cost of obesity is $1,861 per year. And for those with severe obesity, that figure climbs dramatically to $3,097 every single year in extra medical expenses. Staying active, eating well, living a healthy lifestyle, it's quite literally a financial strategy. Your body is your most critical investment, and maintaining it protects your wealth just as effectively as a high-yield portfolio. So, take a quick look at your mental scorecard. Maybe you're crushing it, miles ahead of the median, totally free of credit card debt, and maximizing your investments. Or maybe you're sitting there realizing you have some pretty serious ground to make up. Whichever it is, I want you to remember this final truth. The best time to start saving was yesterday, but the next best time is today. You are never too old, never too young to get started or to just get back on track if you've fallen off course. So based on everything we've uncovered in this explainer, what is the one single financial move you are going to make today to secure your tomorrow?